Oh, McShits. I forgot to change the source for the capture. So we're gonna do this live. Add source. Capture any full screen application. No. Capture specific window. And we are going to do the McFuck. Why? Oh, another lost phone. Done. Anytime now. There we go. Jeez. Alrighty, and let's force some scaling. There we go. Beautiful. And I'm going to turn off my cursor. This is a very professional stream we've got going on here. Alrighty. Sorry for starting late, everyone. I had to fucking eat. Alright. Let me post a stream announcement. Alrighty. Where did we fucking leave off with this game? This game is gonna drive me just into the wall. Because it was making me so McHeckin sad. Okay. What I think we did... I think it was 21-21. Something like that. Okay. We went through our messenger. I think we went through the whole thing. Yeah. And we found out that she's having a lot of conversations in this our messenger. I guess because she wants to keep it secret. Now we're gonna go through this cloud save. So nothing is synced here. Please enter the password for work account. Oh geez. Did I save this? Oh yes, I did. I actually saved the work account password when we were playing the last stream in the messages. So let's plug that in. Can I just copy it? Oh no, I've got to type it. Wait. No, this isn't right. We gotta go back. But her work password has letters in it. I don't understand. Can I type letters? I don't understand. You know what? Is this something I'm supposed to know? Oh, jeez. Hi, Kyle. Golly. This is something I'm supposed to know, isn't it? It was probably an our messenger. Oh, we were supposed to go through these messages. That's right. We're gonna go through Carmen's and then through. Okay. Carmen, I can't remember. Is there air conditioning in your restaurant? Sure, in the cold storage room. Sigh. It's really hot in my little apartment. My brain is melting, and I can't write my cover letters. Crying face. There are fans in the restaurant, and the Wi-Fi is free. And you can have a refill of fresh juice whenever you want. Kissy faces. Okay, I'll grab my laptop and be right there. Haha, you'll never guess what job offer I got today. A job working in the communications department at the museum? Even better, a member of the hospitality team at a trade fair. Yay! Frisk face. Okay, so that's WOA events again, right? You work with them a lot, don't you? Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass. All right, you were just excited. I've been working with them for over a year now, and have zero career prospects, even though the boss is well aware I want a job in communications. Surely there would have been a job available somewhere during that time, right? Well, a job's a job, and it's always good enough until you find something better, don't you think? Yeah, but it's a crappy job, and it's useless on my CV, which I guess is resume. It pays the bills, and you can't be accused of sitting around doing nothing while waiting for the next big job. Well, I have to go. It'll be rush hour at the restaurant soon. Why is rush hour in quotes? Laura, are you coming to Mom's this Saturday? I don't really feel like it. Oh, this is her sister, I think. That's right. Okay. Are you going? Of course. In that case, I'll get ready. I'll bring my stuffed zucchini. Oh, yeah, that ought to motivate me. Happy birthday, I've made you a cake for tonight. I called the communications company I applied to. And rejection. Oh shit, did you ask why? Yeah, I got the usual. Interesting profile, but not enough experience. I feel really down. Come on, girl. You'll find something eventually. Sorry about that. Have you finished your day at the trade fair? Yeah, they're dismantling the stand now, so I'm going to get my stuff and leave. How was it? Last time you had some jerks coming on to you when you were working. Not this time, but there was a guy who seemed quite nice. Ooh. I didn't get his last name, but I do have his first name and company name. Ben from Zenta Oak Consulting. Do you like him? Yeah, I do. Well, you can find him on Power Job, can't you? That's true. Won't I look like a weirdo stalker? Maybe a little. If you get the feeling he's not interested, you can always apologize. He can block you if he doesn't want to talk to you. Yeah. I'll give it a try. Another job rejection. I'm so fed up. Keep going, you'll find something. Laura, did you see the trailer for Tears of the Moon? Yeah, it looks so cool. It's playing at the movie theater near me. Do you want to go? Do you want to go? Haha, great minds think alike. You're free on the 2nd, right? It's my day off. Can you look up the screening times? There's one at 3 p.m. on Friday. Should we meet in front of the movie theater 15 minutes beforehand? Okay, let's do that. Carmen, yes, a little problem here. I can't find the keys to Ben's apartment. Where do you usually put them? They're normally in the door. Oh, wait, I think I know where they are. I'll check and get back to you in 5 minutes. Oh, I think I know what the code is for the other thing. I can't remember if it was because I read a hint in a guide, or if I figured it out in the last stream. But I think it's, so the code to get into security chest was like a whole, it was like a whole, you had to go and add all these numbers up together of important things and then plug that in. But then after that, when you go into our messenger, which you don't have to do any pin for, Ben tells her he can make her password like a number to a building, or a password that you use for a security alarm. I think it's the code Ben told us for his apartment. I think that's what she made it, because she figured at that point he probably wouldn't get that far into her phone. And I think that was not Ben that told us that. It was Adam that told us how to set the password, or Alex, whoever her last boyfriend was, who she's friends with now. He told her you can make it like a password of something else that you use all the time, and the apartment code is something she uses all the time. Oh wait, I think I know where they are. I'll check and get back to you in 5 minutes. Laura? I can't find them. Ben isn't answering. He must be in a meeting. Do you have a spare set of keys? No. Damn, will you be okay? Yeah, I'll be okay. It's just a shame. Plus, it's your day off. Never mind, we'll do it another time. Carmen, are you doing anything tomorrow night? No, why? I've been contacted by the Pink Sunshine Kids Association. You were an intern there, right? Yep, that's the place. Ooh, tell all. They want to hire me. I start in January. Wait, I'll call you. Carmen, I have to call you. Something truly horrendous has happened at work. I really have to talk to you. Laura, I just saw your missed calls. I'll call you. So that must have been when the message of the video went around. Carmen, have you got a minute? Yeah, it's fine. We don't have too many customers, and the others can manage for a moment. What's the problem? What's the latest your period has ever been? Oh. Oh is right. I don't know. 3 or 4 days lately? Okay. I haven't had my period during my pill-free days. Oh. Have you done a test? I bought one at the drugstore. It was negative, but I don't know if I left it long enough. I also forgot to take my pill a few times. Okay, I'm freaking out here. I don't want a baby right now. I don't know if I want a kid with Ben right now. It'll all be fine. We'll work it out. First, go and have a blood test. The drugstore testing kits aren't always reliable. Laura? I'll call you. Can you call me when you have a second? This isn't June. This is months later. Wait. No, this is only 1 month later. Is she pregnant? Okay, I think his thing was 4004 if I remember correctly. If I'm right, I'm gonna, be super happy. Incorrect. Okay. So I wasn't right. Let's see if I can find his code in his text messages. $4004. I have no clue. I thought I was really onto something with the Alex thing. I use a code for the alarm that I have to reset every time I leave and enter the restaurant. At least 8 characters. Oh god. Followed by another code you use regularly. Would it be 4004 and then the 2121? Damn it. What's another code that she even uses? Oh, jeez, I don't know. There's gotta be something in her notes. Come on. The heck? Ugh. You know what? I really want to see the end of the game, so I'm just gonna look this shit up. Another lost phone, Laura's security chest. A lot of people must have been looking this up. Okay, this one's got hints to help me. Oh, I gotta put the 2121 before the 4004. So I was on the right track. I literally had it, I just had to flip them around. Oh boy. Achievement unlocked. Backup restored. I don't feel good about any of this. Okay, so how do I get to the backup now? Oh, there's more messages. From Amir. Hi, Amir. It's Laura, Ben's girlfriend. This is June 1st, and it's June 6th today. I just wanted to know if you're still friends with Claire. Don't tell Ben I asked you. Hi, Laura. Yeah, why? Ben told me she tried to end his relationship with his ex, Julia, while they were still together, because she wanted to date him herself. Is this true? No, I don't think so. Anyway, Claire was dating Oliver at the time. Oliver? My Oliver? That doesn't sound like him. He's gay. Claire told me that Ben was violent with Julia. Do you think that's true? Let's say Julia was a complicated girl, but I got the impression there were times when he really lost it with her. I advised Ben to see a therapist or join a support group for people with anger issues, but he wouldn't listen. But you still remained friends with him? Yeah. Why didn't you tell me this before? Oh, I don't know. What goes on in Ben's private life is none of my business, and it's ancient history now. Yeah, well, you could have at least warned me. Listen, I already told him to get some help. I did what I could. Okay. I saw these things already. Okay. I'm concerned about you, Laura. How are you feeling? I'm okay, no worries. The concert is coming along slowly but surely. It's not the concert I'm worried about, it's you. Really? No, it's fine. Working from home is doing me so much good. I'm trying to stay focused on my tasks as much as possible and not dwell on the other stuff. Okay, but I'm here if you ever need anything. That's nice to know. Oh yeah, this is when she kept asking her, where was she? Okay. Hi, Laura. How are you feeling today? So, why are you texting me on my work phone? After what you told me about your guy, I wanted to text you somewhere he couldn't read the message. Anyway, I suggest you use a password to lock your work phone and never unlock it in front of him. He already flew into this heavy jealous rage when I wanted to lock my personal phone, so I don't think that's a good idea. What do you mean heavy? He yelled at me and said I was hiding things from him. He accused me of having a lover and said I didn't really love him, and that I was locking my phone because I didn't trust him. Okay, I get it. That's bad. It's not normal, you know. I don't know, but at the same time I understand him. He needs reassurance to know that I love him. Do you think it's a mark of trust in the other person to let them see the contents of your phone? No, I disagree. A real mark of trust would be to believe the other person and not always feel the need to have proof of their love and faithfulness by snooping through their phone. Plus, it's important for both partners to have their own secret garden. Listen, for him it's not really negotiable. He's been lied to in the past and needs some reassurance. Yeah, I get it, but it's not great. If you want a reason for locking your phone, you'll just have to say Michael insisted on it. What do you mean? So, you lock your work phone and tell him it was Michael's orders. And he wants the work phones to be more secure because the phone contains confidential work stuff. Yeah, okay. I don't see why I would need to lie to him, though. It's unhealthy not to have a space where you can grouch about your relationship occasionally without him knowing. Yeah, but if I'm having relationship problems, I should just talk to him, shouldn't I? Sure, but sometimes it's but it's sometimes good to talk to your girlfriends to have another point of view. Okay, I'll lock this phone. Hi, how are you? Exhausted. I've been running for an hour. Wow, congratulations. Where do you go running now? It's been a while since we've bumped into each other at the park. That's hardly surprising, because I run on a treadmill we have at home now. Wow, those things are expensive, aren't they? It was a present from Ben. It was a present from Ben so you wouldn't leave the house. That's creepy. Ben's creepy. I keep saying this. Ben's trying to lock her in the house. A pretty silly gift, huh? I mean, you can run outside for free. Yeah, but it's so handy. I can run when I want to and don't get harassed in the street by stupid men. Since when have stupid men stopped you from running? Well, that's true, but Ben was worried about me, and he prefers me not to go out. Wait a second, what do you mean he prefers me not to go out? Hi, Elena. He's afraid something might happen to me. But you do go out, don't you? You go shopping, meet friends. You still see Amelia. Elsa? I get the shopping delivered. It's easier, and I'm talking to my friends less and less at the moment. Why is that? Oh, you know, you tend to have fewer friends as time goes on, and when you're in a relationship, you don't see people as much. But you still see Emma, don't you? Not really. Since I've been with Ben, things have been a little complicated. Nearly all of my friends have faded away. I'm starting to wonder if they're jealous. What do you mean, jealous? Well, you know, I'm one of those rare and lucky people among girlfriends who's found a job they love, and my life with Ben is fabulous. Not only am I happy in my relationship, but he has money too. So financially, I'm living in a fairy tale while they're struggling. Yeah, financially, he's got you attached to him, like you need him and no one else. This is fucked up. This whole thing is fucked up. As soon as the thing with the keys happened, I knew hours ago. I knew a week ago. And you think they're keeping their distance because they're jealous? That's the only explanation Ben and I could come up with. Sad, but there it is. Listen, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Ben's behavior isn't normal. He's the one who's jealous. I get the impression he's controlling you, that he's isolating you. Don't be ridiculous. I'm just saying this based on what you're telling me. He's jealous and wants to read the contents of your phone. He controls you by not letting you go out on your own. He's manipulating you with the treadmill gift. He's isolating you from your girlfriends by insinuating they're jealous of you. That is not normal and doesn't happen in a normal relationship. He has a problem. You always focus on the negative. It's not like that at all, Charlotte. I swear it's nothing to worry about. Okay, he has his faults, but nothing serious. No, he has a problem, and of course you're blind to it. You're madly in love with him. Okay, so you have your own take on things and just won't let it go. You're a pain in the ass. I guess it's useless talking to you. Sorry if I'm interfering and it's none of my business, but I'm worried. Like I told you, everything's fine. Leave me alone. I'm here if you need me. Hi, Laura. How are you? Hey, I don't know if you're still mad at me, but I still consider you my friend, and I'm here if you need me. Just to wish you a very happy birthday, and I hope everything's okay with you. Hi, thank you for the happy birthday message. How are you at the moment? Not great, I have to say. What's up? One of Ben's former friends contacted me and said some terrible things about him that have really upset me. I can imagine. Have you mentioned it to Ben? No. Really? Why? She told me he had a history of violent behavior with his ex, and it's really freaking me out. But then Ben already told me about this girl, how she was in love with him and would do anything to have him to herself. I don't know what to think. Because that's what abusers do. They'll be assholes, and then they'll be like, no, the other person was obsessed with me. That's how they get out of it. They make the other person seem like they're crazy, so no one believes them. Okay, so how do you feel about it? My first reaction was to not believe her, but then I thought about everything you said and started to realize that I should leave him. Wow, she's realizing this in April. It's June. She stays with him for 2 more months after this. Wow. There's a lot we miss in just looking at the first level of texts. And I've given it some serious thought, especially as he's been pretty difficult to live with recently, but he was so sweet on my birthday, so I'm confused. He's aware of his faults, you know, which means he knows he's too possessive, and he does apologize. His work is really exhausting. Sometimes he drinks a little too much to unwind, then says things he doesn't really mean. Alcohol is no excuse for bad behavior, but he knows when he's gone too far, and my birthday was so romantic. He took me away on a surprise weekend and it was fantastic. I really felt like I'd rediscovered the Prince Charming I once knew. Yup, it's the honeymoon cycle. You get this honeymoon period, and then things start to become more and more and more and more and more tense, and then bam, bad shit happens. And then you go back to the honeymoon. We learned about that in psychology class. It's a cycle. They actually can completely map out the behavior. No, not at all. He even promised to see a psychoanalyst to address his anger management issues. Okay, keep me posted on how the situation develops, all right? Okay, promise? Promise. Hi, how are you now? Did things get better with Ben? No. What do you mean? Since he worries about me all the time, he got me to install an app so I can quickly send him my GPS coordinates if I have a problem. Basically, it was meant to be a really practical thing. So if I was attacked or anything, I could in theory discreetly press a button to let him know where I was. But then he wanted me to use it at a specific time to reassure him so he knew I was safe at home. So I was sending him a message every lunchtime, and then it turned to twice a day, and then 3 times, and finally every hour. The other day I went out to get a coffee, and when I used the app, it told him I was out. When he came back that night, he went into this massive jealous rage, and it made no sense. He was convinced I was meeting another guy at the cafe, and he just got this idea into his head. He was yelling at me. It was horrible. I just let him yell at me. I was paralyzed with fear. He wouldn't let me sleep that night. As soon as I dozed off, he'd wake me up again and demand I tell him the name of the person I was at the cafe with. The next morning at breakfast, I told him I'd had enough and couldn't go on like this. Then his attitude totally changed. He told me he was nothing without me and I meant everything to him, and he was scared of losing me, that he didn't know what he would do without me. I'd really like to leave him, but I'm scared to, you know. I'm frightened for him. He needs me to help him get better. It's not you he needs, it's a therapist. I thought he was going to see a psychoanalyst. He made an appointment but had to cancel because he was busy at work that day. Don't you get the feeling it's the same old pattern? He behaves badly, you threaten to leave. He apologizes, and you change your mind. Listen, there's a conference followed by a support group meeting held in an association supporting victims of domestic violence. I've got a friend who works there. I'm going, and I'd really like you to come with me, okay? But I'm not a victim of domestic violence. Ben's never hit me. Okay, so he's never hit you. But sometimes when you talk, I get the feeling you're suffering psychological abuse, and the conference will be tackling that issue too. What do I know? I'm not an expert, but it could be interesting to meet them, don't you think? Worst case scenario, you'll see that it doesn't apply to you, and at best you'll learn something good about domestic abuse. It happens a lot, but people tend not to talk about it. You can at least find out, surely. So what do I tell Ben, the reason why I'm not here when he gets back? Tell him you're having a drink with me, and I'll bring you home. That way he'll see you're not with another guy. Okay, when is it? Next Thursday, after work. Well, why not? I'll drop by and pick you up. How are you feeling today? Bad. I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. I kept getting up to read the notes I took during the meeting. There were so many things I recognized in Ben's behavior. It scares me. I feel so dumb and stupid for not realizing earlier. I've been so blind, and you were so right. No, you're not stupid. The important thing is that you've woken up to what's going on. You're a strong woman and brave. But I've been so dumb to allow myself to be manipulated like that. I guess I should leave him, but I don't know what to do. I don't even have a place of my own anymore. You can come and stay with me if you need to, when you're ready. Thank you so much, Charlotte. I'm lucky that I can count on you. When I think of all the women talking at the support group yesterday, some are living in situations much worse than mine and have nobody around to help them. Thanks for being there for me. I'll always be there for you. And if something ever happens to me and I can't help you, you won't be alone. Look at all those women yesterday. Some terrible things happened to them and they never thought they'd come through, but the association always supported them and stuck by them. That's true, but I must insist, I can't thank you enough for your support. Hey, how are you today? I'm feeling much better. Ben organized a lovely surprise to celebrate our 6 months anniversary. It was fantastic. You know, maybe I exaggerated a little last time. It's not like he's a monster. Remember what they said at the conference about cycles of violence? I think that's what's happening between you and Ben. It's okay at the moment, but it's not the first time things have turned bad and then got better. Can I suggest something? Count the number of times a day Ben's behavior becomes unacceptable. That way you can monitor if there's a cycle with a steady progression of unacceptable behavior. Then it stops, then gets progressively worse again. Okay, I'm going to install a counter on my phone to check that. That's what the counter app is for. Zero, 1, 0, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 7, 14, 0, 0, 1, 3, 4, 6, 5, 5, 7, 16, 0, 1, 6, 8, 9, 15. This is rough. 0, 4, 7, 25, 1, 5, 11, 14, 0, 0. Shit, how do I get back to my SMS? Write everything down, won't you? Even the little innocuous comments. So if he comments on how I dress, I write that down too? Yeah, even that. It's not up to him to tell you how to dress. It's your body, it's your choice. Keep me posted on what happens, okay? Okay. How are you? Laura, I haven't heard from you. I'm worried. Are you okay? Mm, 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 mm. Laura, please just let me know if you're okay. I just want to make sure you're still alive. Sorry I haven't been in touch for so long. I've made up my mind. Ben is dangerous. I have to leave this town, and I think I'm going to report him to the police. What happened June 1st? Oh, it was right after that day with 25. What happened that day? So she went missing on the 5th. She didn't go missing today. She went missing a day ago. And she doesn't have any texts that say what happened on the 31st. She did talk to Ben, or not, she did talk to Amir right after the 31st, right after whatever happened. You're right to report him. However, are you really sure you have to get out of town because of him? I don't want to leave just because of him. I want to go because I need to breathe again, to heal myself in a peaceful and healthy environment. I'm just worried that I have nowhere to go. Listen, I have a solution, but that means I'll have to talk about your situation with Michael. Are you okay with that? Okay. Okay, I've talked to Michael and we're come up with a solution. There's a branch of the association that needs a communications manager. It's a long way from here in a quiet town, and he offered to transfer you there. You'll be away from here, but at least you'll have a job. You could stay with the director until you find somewhere of your own. I've also checked that the Association for Support for Victims of Domestic Violence has an office there, and they'll be able to help you file your complaint. So the stage is set for you to slip away. Just tell us when you're ready. Thanks. Don't mention it. But just one thing. You'll have to return your work phone to Michael. I would suggest you make a backup of all the content relative to your situation with Ben. It will be useful for you to have a timeline of events and maybe store the evidence for when you report him. Ask Nadia in the IT department. She'll explain how you can save the content. I'll call you soon with more details. Meanwhile, just act normally with Ben. You don't want him to suspect anything. So now what? Didn't I save some emails too? Some notes. I backed up some notes. Domestic violence cycle manifests progressively within a relationship. Initially, tension and hostility. Cycle 4 phases. Okay, I thought it was 3. Apparently, it's 4. Tension phase. Irritability of the perpetrator, which is attributed to work, stress, traffic issues, etc. No physical violence, but hostile silences, aggressive looks, irritable tone, etc. Everything the victim does is a source of irritation to the perpetrator. Their stress and frustration is always the victim's fault. The victim tries to find out what's wrong, but it is laced with responses like, no, it is nothing, I don't know why you're complaining, etc. Eventually leads to verbal aggression and insults, and the victim regrets asking. Aggressive phase. The perpetrator appears to be losing control, yelling insults, threats, breaking objects, often leading up to physical violence. Progressive physical violence. Pushing leads to arm twisting, leads to slaps, leads to punches, leads to use of a weapon. The victim is overwhelmed by feelings of powerlessness and sadness rather than anger. Excuses phase. The perpetrator tries to deny or downplay his behavior. He finds an explanation, then shifts the blame onto the victim. It's the victim's fault or the result of external pressure. He promises to change, says that everything will be fine, that he'll see a psychologist, etc. More promises and emotional blackmail. I need you, I'm nothing without you, I would die without you, etc. Reconciliation phase. A honeymoon period. The perpetrator is suddenly attentive, considerate, showers the victim with gifts, etc. The perpetrator is very sincere, fearing that the victim will really leave him. He begs for forgiveness. The victim thinks they can cure him, help him, etc. The victim was frightened during the aggressive phase, but this phase persuades them to stay. The phases repeat themselves and spiral into a vicious cycle. The victim eventually perceives this violence as normal, and their life can be at serious risk if this continues. Physical and psychological violence are linked. There is no physical violence without the psychological violence that precedes it. Psychological violence is a series of attitudes and comments to denigrate, destabilize, and hurt the other person. This is not a unique event, but is an integral part of the relationship. It is intended to subdue the other, control them, and to maintain the feeding of power. Subtle mistreatment without physically striking, creating tension, frightening the victim to demonstrate power, difficult to quantify and evaluate because it is subjective and depends on the level of sensitivity of each victim. Several types of behavioral patterns that can be considered microaggressions. Control, possessive vocabulary, monitoring the victim maliciously in order to dominate and command them, taking control of mealtimes, sleep, spending, social life, etc. Yeah, that's something that people don't realize. They use it to torture prisoners in like Guantanamo Bay and stuff. When people can control when you eat and when you sleep, and they can hold that against you, it's really screwed up. Yes, you can totally message me about something related to the stream. I happen to actually be very knowledgeable about things like this just from years of studying and taking lots of psychology classes and stuff. So most of this stuff is stuff I already know, but I want to read it anyway. But I also know about that from when I was a history major, and we researched very in depth different methods of torture. And the clock is moving, but not always, which is weird. I guess it's moving based on where I am in the story. Isolation, isolating the victim from friends, family, colleagues. I think that's pretty obvious what that is. Pathological jealousy, jealous behavior, constant suspicion, unfounded accusations of intent, no basis in reality. Requires the victim's continuous and exclusive presence. There's no way of appeasing pathological jealousy because it is simply a denial of reality. The minute moved again. Harassment, repeating a message to exhaust mental and critical judgment capabilities of the victim, to make them accept anything. Monitoring the person, following the victim in the street, harassing them on the phone, waiting for the victim as she leaves work. Harassment often occurs after a breakup. Denigration affects the victim's self-esteem, making them believe they are worthless. Dismissive attitudes and hurtful words causes the victim to lose self-confidence. Expresses doubts about the victim's mental health, denigrates their intellectual abilities, their body appearances, etc., launches a systemic attack on the victim's family, friends, and or children. This can happen with words that appear to be sincere or normal. Yeah, so, I mean, you can be like, listen, I understand you and I'm just trying to help you out. It's not my fault if your dad is crazy. Like, you can seem like you're being super nice, and in reality, you're like causing turmoil. Humiliation, we all know what that is. Intimidation exhibits acts of indirect violence, example on their environment, breaking objects, slamming doors, driving too fast, cruelty towards a pet, etc. Shows the victims that physical violence could happen to them too, creates a feeling of fear in the victim. Indifference to emotional demands, refusal to show any concern for the victim, insensitivity, making a show of rejection or contempt, intentionally creates a situation of lack and frustration, refusing to communicate, refusing to go to family events, etc. Disregarding the physical or psychological state of the other. Threats, we all know what threats are. Some of these acts can seem normal when isolated, but when they happen repeatedly over a long period of time to the same person, they become a form of violence. The perpetrator takes advantage of the emotional weakness of the victim, wearing them down mentally. Whoa, that actually scared me. I wasn't expecting any noise. You have one new email from Laura. But this is Laura's phone. This is just like when Sam sent that email. This is the message for the unknown person who may find this phone. My name is Laura, and I own this phone. I'm not writing this to get it back, but I may need your kind of help. My partner is a violent and dangerous man. I've just left him to start a new life somewhere else and deliberately dropped this phone at a station when I was changing trains. I wanted to get rid of it so he couldn't locate me. I called my sister, who told me that he was harassing the people close to me to find out where I was, and that makes my blood run cold. I've installed an app on my phone. I am here. If you use it, the app will send a notification indicating the phone's GPS coordinates. I'm hoping to lead him down a false trail so he leaves my friends and family alone. The code to unlock the GPS is attached. Obviously, I would please ask you to erase the data on this phone and then throw it away so he can't locate me, and to prevent him from harassing you as well. Whatever. Don't worry about me. I'm safe and intend to make a formal complaint against him. Oh, jeez. I don't want to call Ben. He's an ass. But, I mean, like, is it... He's already on a wild goose chase. Is this gonna help if I set off the GPS anyway? Like, he's still gonna be mad. He's gonna find your phone. He's gonna find that everything was deleted, and he's gonna freak the hell out. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let me just... Jeez. How am I supposed to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not gonna remember this. Let me take a screenshot of it. I'm going to... Elena, I'm going to send it to you. You don't need that, but I sure do. Okay. I guess I gotta turn the GPS on. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The doctor said I was missing my period because I was so stressed and had lost a lot of weight. And when Ben discovered I wasn't pregnant, he went crazy and called me selfish for not wanting to have a child with him. And it suddenly dawned on me, the pill reminders that had disappeared from my phone. It was him he wanted me to forget, and he didn't even deny it when I confronted him. It was Ben who sent the video. I apologize for having wrongly accused you. I could see things were going badly in our relationship, but every time I told myself I was going to leave him, he became adorable, sweet, and romantic again. I really thought he would change, but the cycle kept repeating. Yes, you do get extra stream interaction. You were right. Forgive me for not believing you. Ben was insanely jealous, and I now realize this is probably to that Claire girl. And I now realize he was manipulating me. He was convinced I was hiding things from him, and I think he was actually tracking my phone. He ended up pushing me when he tried to snatch it out of my hands. I thought it was best to leave before he went too far, and I threw my phone and SIM card away just in case. I actually felt ashamed. I was convinced that I was to blame for the situation with Ben, and I didn't dare tell anyone. Forgive me for having gone so far away without letting you know. I just feel empty now. I'm physically and mentally exhausted, but I'm going to take care of myself and rest. I was so stressed out that I couldn't sleep. I feel like I'm slowly recovering from a long illness. Oh, this is as time is going on. Hi, Michael. Thanks again for authorizing my transfer. I got here safely, and the change of scene is doing me so good. I'm surrounded by great people here, and my transfer went very smoothly. I'm preparing my complaint with the help of an association here. Thank you so much once again, Laura. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there. Even when I pushed you away and didn't want to believe you, you stuck by me. I'm gradually getting back in touch with my old friends, and I'm so glad to know they are here listening to me and supporting me. If you ever need anything at all, don't hesitate to ask, even if we're further away from each other now. Wow. Thank you to everyone at the Accidental Queens team and everyone who was involved in this game for creating it. This was definitely a spiritual successor to Sam's story. I would say they're two different stories, but the gameplay was even better. There was even more to it. And it really, they really went into a very educational teaching about, like, they taught mostly about like gender and sexuality with Sam's story, um, and less about educating about what abuse is. Um, but with this, they really went into teaching people so that if you're playing this game and you don't understand the signs, um, I was kind of catching on to what was going on way ahead of time, but if you don't understand the signs, not only have you seen an example in this story of what went on with Laura, but you can then take that information and apply it to your own life or to people in your life. We would like to extend our special thanks to the following organizations to help us achieve a more balanced approach. Oh, it looks like those were associations that helped consult on the story. If one or several aspects of Laura and Ben's story apply to your current situation or that of a person close to you, please reach out. There are various designated associations and crisis lines that can help assist you. Yeah, I think this game is amazing. It's very inexpensive to play. And if you know people who like these kinds of games, you should definitely recommend it to them. Because the music was beautiful, the setup was beautiful. the very layered way that you go through and learn more and more and more, and you're hit with mystery till the very end about, even when you start to figure out what's going on, you're like, well, what is really going on? What is the full picture here? And just an excellent game, like Sam's story was. Um, I'm a little bit mellow because, unfortunately, even though Laura got out, it's not a happy ending, in my opinion, because the ultimate happy ending would be to find out that she was in a good relationship and bad things weren't happening, and that she doesn't have this trauma in her life now. And like she said, she feels like she's had a long illness and she's going to be recovering for a long time, and people spend sometimes their entire lives recovering from shit like this. So it's bittersweet because she gets out of this, but now her next step is rebuilding her life, which was kind of destroyed in a very short period of time. I mean, if it hadn't have been for her boss, who was so helpful after that email was sent out by Ben, I mean, she could have never had a job anywhere else again. I mean, the fact that that was sent to all their clientele, she wasn't going to go work for anyone else. And the fact that her boss was open-minded and gave her a second chance. Um, and the fact that she had her friends to lean on, and places to go, and I mean, really the boss is like the hero in this situation. I mean, of course Charlotte as well, but you know, he really made sure that she had somewhere to go, she had a job, she could start her new life. Um, and that is, I wish there were more people like that in this world. I know there are people like that in this world, but they're few and far between. And there's lots of people who need help, like Laura needed help. And just hopefully, if you ever come into a situation like this where it's happening to someone that you can be that person who reaches out and gives some sort of help to someone. So I'm definitely going to have to review this later. And I don't think I reviewed a normal Lost Phone, but I'll review both of them if I haven't, because this team really put a lot of heart and soul into both of these games. Um, I'm not as elated as I was at the end of the last game. I'm definitely very melancholy. It's going to be hard to kind of switch gears and move into Dream Daddy. But maybe that's exactly what I need after a game like this, to kind of perk me up again so that I'm not sad all night long. But I get very emotional, especially with games with very, very hard, very difficult topics. I'm glad that it was a bittersweet end, at least, as opposed to a completely sad ending, where she was hurt or didn't make it out. I'm glad that she is able to start her new life. But still rough. The worry, and I'm sure you heard me get a little more weighed down by having to read these things out loud, and the creeping feeling, as I'm reading the things that I know she's probably going through, and they're hard things to talk about. But we got to talk about these things, because if we don't talk about them, no one's going to know about them. And you may think you know everything there is to know about a topic, but you can always learn more. If you learn one thing, then you still learned something from, that's why, like, even though I was a history major or whatever, and I learned like everything there was to know about history, even if I think I know everything there was about World War II, I'll still pick up a World War II nonfiction book and I'll read it cover to cover. And most of it might be stuff that I know, but if I learn one new thing that I feel like now I've learned something that gives me a more clear view of the whole picture, then that's good. I mean, you can I had a bunch of concussions, and I'm like a concussion expert. I could like diagnose you with a concussion basically if you had one. Even though I'm not a doctor, I could basically be like, I think you need to go to a doctor because I'm pretty sure that's a concussion. Um, but like, I'm still always reading things about concussions because, you know, you never know what you're going to learn. And if you learn something new, then you might be able to help someone else or yourself in the future. So, with that being said, I need to feed my Neopets really quick. And then we're going to do the next game. So let's give everyone a chance to run to the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack, collect yourselves, get yourself in a new mindset, because we're switching gears completely. And we're moving on to the next thing, which is Dream Daddy. And we're going to go till about 8:30, 9 o'clock with that. Hopefully make some progress with that. Hopefully get to the end of Joseph's ending so we can do the cold playthrough. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I've been getting a lot more followers lately. I do want to let you all know that I have recently started an exclusive YouTube series where I will be releasing niche Neopets content. It's called Neopian Flashbacks, and it's where I play Neopets Flash games every Sunday. I started off with Ice Cream Machine. I freaked out for 20 to 30 minutes and I lost my mind. But a lot of these Neopets Flash games are over 15 years old, are bordering on 20 years old. So it's sort of a look not only at Flash games, but into the past. And a lot of them are going to be disappearing next year because ultimately the Neopets team is trying to move to HTML5, but as much as they're going to try and code all these games in HTML5, I don't know if all of them are going to make it. So if I can create this series for a short period of time and sort of kind of preserve some of these games in some way or form, or preserve the memories, and do it in sort of a funny, fun way, that's good with me. I'm good with that. So please mark your calendars. That's going to be coming out every Sunday at 6 p.m. Please share that series with someone that you love in your life because I really want it to grow. I really want the Neopets team to signal boost me on their Twitter. I want to be famous. God, please, the CEO of Jumpstart, if you could please notice me, senpai. I forget his name, but it's like, is it like Dave something? Let's look it up real quick. Who is the CEO of Jumpstart? What is his name? It's something funny. Aaron Lieberman? That's not the CEO of Jumpstart. Someone else right now. Nyla Bolus? This can't be right. Oh, it was David Lord. I don't know if David Lord is still the CEO of Jumpstart. But when he posted like a letter or something on Neopets, like when Jumpstart bought Neopets and they were when he introduced himself, everyone was like, "It's our Lord and Savior, David Lord." It was just very ironic that his name was that. And he's kind of a goofy looking guy. He kind of reminds me of a combination of Dr. Phil and that guy from The Prophet. Who's that guy from The Prophet? He's got like short black hair, and he like goes into businesses, and he's like, his name's Marcus something. But yeah, he looks like those two mashed up because he's like super tall and kind of like big shoulders like Dr. Phil, but he's got like a face like Marcus. I don't know if he's still the CEO or if someone else took over, because then Jumpstart got bought by some Chinese company that makes like MMOs. So I don't know if David Lord is still the CEO of Jumpstart. But if he is, hit me up, bro. I'd love to become friends on LinkedIn. I will reopen my LinkedIn account just for that. But yeah, so hopefully I'm going to also be maybe doing some other playthroughs of like one-off games. Like I might do like a video on Super Collapse or something because I love that game, but I don't necessarily love it enough to play the whole thing again. but maybe scream at it for like an hour. Maybe that's going to be a stream game. Maybe I'm going to do something else stupid. I'll figure it out. But more things to come. But for now, Neopian Flashbacks is going to be every Sunday. So again, thank you everyone so much for watching. I'll be back in 5 minutes with Dream Daddy. And remember to love yourselves.